Hello, survivors. Welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I'm your host, Geoffrey Card, and welcome to 2021. We've got an exciting year planned. We're going to be updating this game so much this year. But today, we're actually going to start out by looking back at 2020. Along for the ride, as always, are my co-hosts. First, we have one of the originators of State of Decay and your longtime favorite artist, champion, and hula dancer, Brant Fitzgerald. Hello, Brant.
Hello, everybody.
And alongside him, there's also a man who needs no introduction because lately he's been hosting the stream more often than I have, Joe Swarner. How are you doing, Joe?
Hello, everybody. Doing great. I'm going to try to keep you alive.
Yeah, so we've got the game running in multiplayer in the background right now, and Joe and Brant are tasked with trying to keep me alive while we actually talk about a bunch of other stuff, because we have a special guest today. To help us ring in the new year with a look back at everything this team and this community have accomplished, we've got our boss, product director, and cowboy programmer, Henry Goffin. Hello, Henry.
Hello. It's nice to see you all again.
So it looks like I might have Henry's voice a little bit off of his video, and I don't know why, and I'm just seeing it for the first time. So apologies if that's a little bit weird for anyone watching the stream. If you want to, you can just turn your head slightly away, and it will be just like everything's normal. But Henry, so the thing we wanted to talk about today...
Years of ventriloquy that are causing this.
Oh yeah, this is actually a special skill that Henry does. He does this live. It's really freaky. So let's talk a little bit about where we were a year ago at the start of 2020. What was going on back then?
Well, about 17 decades ago, when the year 2020 began, we were, an Xbox and Windows 10 exclusive. Mm-hmm. We had a pretty good year. We had just released Heartland in the previous summer, and we were just kind of, keeping up updates. We'd released outfits, and the Bounty Broker had recently entered the game, and there was just a lot happening where it felt like we were putting out an update pretty much every 4 to 5 weeks. And the game was popular, we were popular, everybody loved us. And then you went ahead and said that there's gonna be a big update coming. I think you even mentioned it on the stream.
Yeah, that's right. I was telling everybody because in December, the last stream was we got a big announcement to make in January, so stay with us. Then we went dark for the holidays, came back, and announced the Bundle Up pack, which was not exactly what I had in mind. Some people got a little bit annoyed at that.
Yeah, it's the big announcement we had planned fell behind a little bit over the break. And so we ended up announcing Juggernaut Edition in February instead of in January, which made us big fat liars about announcing in January. But hopefully Juggernaut Edition has been so kind and useful for all of our players that you've forgiven us for flubbing the announcement of the availability of a future thing, now that you have it.
So I made a little bit of a technical mistake here on OBS, so I'm going to do something very, very awkward, which is superimpose Henry over the gameplay. So Henry, while I'm doing really awkward things technically, do you want to sort of fill us in on like what we actually managed to get done in 2020? Because this is actually a lot more than I ever expected us to be able to do with a game that had been out this long.
So I don't even know where to begin on that list. Obviously, we shipped Juggernaut Edition. We came to the Steam platform. We got off of the train that is called UWP, and we are now a native Windows application on Windows. We shipped a new map with Juggernaut Edition, which was Providence Ridge. We added, I don't remember how many outfits, how many guns, just countless. There's new facility mods in the game too. There's tons of content. We were putting out, on average, an update every 4 weeks. And we added the Green Zone, we added Lethal Zone, and then we added custom difficulties so you can blend between them. We overhauled the Drucker map. We changed vehicle physics from the ground up. We redid a lot of follower AI behaviors. And we also came out on the Xbox Series X and Series S with optimization stored at 60 frames per second on a console for the first time. That's all the big stuff. I don't know. It wasn't that big of a year, I guess. We didn't do very much while we were working from home. Just a few things.
Yeah, and you can see here, this experience I'm having right now would not have been possible a year ago. I'm playing on... I'm not sure why I'm getting some weird performance in my capture card, but I'm playing on a Series X right now.
Geoffrey.
What'd you say?
Stop making us look bad.
I know, sorry. But I'm playing on a Series X. We've got... my base is currently being attacked by blood plague freaks, among other things. Oh, look, there's a blood plague feral coming after us right now. Okay, got him. So yeah, this game looks really different right now than it did when we got started. So one of the ways that we look when we're actually looking back at the year, and looking at something like 2020 and trying to assess, did we do a good job? Did we do a bad job? What did we accomplish? What could we still accomplish? One of the greatest tools we have at our disposal is data that we collect. And so, can you set that up a little bit, Henry? Like, let people know, like, what does it mean when we're collecting data about people playing the game?
So, mostly gone are the video game days of yore, right? Where the product director or the product lead or the lead designer or somebody would just be like, I decide what we're going to do, and it's based on what I like and what I say goes. And everybody else is not allowed to challenge me. I'm just going to do that. We try to be a little smarter about it. We all have good ideas, and then we try to use data to figure out, like, okay, how do we measure whether or not that idea is working? How do we measure how effective we are at delivering on these concepts? So there's lots of sources of data, right? Like, obviously, there's customer sentiment, things like customer support complaints, reviews of the game, Reddit threads. We scrape as much of the internet as we can to try and figure out what people are talking about in our game. That's a kind of data. And we've got numeric data too, right? We've got like sales data from Steam, Windows 10, Epic Store, Xbox Platform Store. We've got achievement completion data, like who's doing what in the game and how frequently. What's the bounce rate? How many people actually get to killing 100 zombies? How many people claim a base? And people claim a base on all 4 maps. But then we get into the data that we are just in love with, which is we have an anonymous telemetry stream. The game reports basically everything that's happening in a totally anonymous way, with your gamer tag removed, all of your IDs removed. And it just tells us, like, yeah, today there were 700,000 zombie deaths in this corner of Drucker or something, and we can see where it happened. We can see almost every action you can take in the game. Character deaths, missions being accepted, missions being abandoned. You can see when the day clock cycles, and we can see how many players are performing various facility actions or building different types of facilities. And all of that data gets sort of aggregated and massaged by our data and analytics team and turned into very basic reporting of, like, hey, is our game broken? Like, did those missions just like totally stop casting at all in the last update? Whoops, let's go fix that. But it's also good for, like, what missions do people like to play? What missions do people like to abandon? What outfits do people like to wear? And what outfits do people not like to wear? And so that helps us tune, right? Like, we can put something out into the world that we think is a good idea, but then data and measurement from how players in aggregate behave with that informs us. Is like, oh, we were wrong. We totally designed a really crappy outfit that nobody wants. Or maybe it's a sign that, like, something's not working the way we think it should. Like, what if our game has a bug, Geoffrey?
Oh, what if it does have a bug?
Like, our game would never have bugs, right?
Right now,
You mean like one where a fully repaired vehicle just suddenly exploded for no reason?
Yeah,
it did
like
have a feral connected to it. That might have been something to do with it.
Like what just happened?
If it did happen, we would get some
Ferals.
telemetry about it and we'd be able to see
Ferals.
how frequently does it happen. Is it happening to every player all the time? Is it happening to some players some of the time? And that helps us triage, because even though we don't think there are very many bugs in our game, there are enough to keep our team busy for years and years. Let's be honest. So triaging and figuring out prioritization, like, is it more important to get that feature that we've been working on out the door, or to fix that bug? The only way we can really make that measurement is by saying, like, look, this bug is not going to stop anybody from playing the game, and it only affects 2% of the players, but we think that 30% of the people will enjoy this feature. So it's a trade-off. Obviously, we always want to fix all of our bugs, and we also want to
add all of the features. I want to add all of the features.
Yeah, we want to add all of them. So how do we balance it? And that's my job, is basically to look at the data, look at what's available. What do we have? What resources can we as developers spend on the game, and where should we spend it? Like, should we put all of our effort on just improving, zombie versus car collisions, or should we put our effort into follower AI, or should we put our effort into, map collision bugs, and how important are they relative to each other? And then, we still want to make sure the game is new and feeling fresh. So how do we also balance new content versus fixing old content? It's a balance that gets a lot of inputs, including data. And there's other inputs too, like what do we want to work on? We're not just mindless robots being fed by data. We're professionals, right? Like we take pride in the things that we love about our game, and it hurts when things don't work right.
Yeah,
But
and we also pay attention to the wish list.
You're talking all over your stream. It's your stream.
Oh no, I'm not trying to interrupt you either. But what I'm saying is that, like, we also pay attention to the wish lest that's coming from the audience. You know, like, we've got this huge idea board that's full of ideas contributed by members of our team, and we also have highlighted ones that the audience agrees with. You know, that people in the audience have set as a priority, and all of that matters as we're making these kinds of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're gonna need an outpost, Geoffrey.
No, I think we need an outpost. Oh, maybe what we need actually is another car. So let me call in a vehicle delivery. Maybe this guy.
I need someone to drop off a vehicle here.
Let's see, can you guys see where the vehicles show up?
I guess we can just replace the vehicle if that works. Okay.
There. Yeah, let's go this way. Okay, so one thing I want to really make sure, I think that this was actually, if you pay attention, it really was clear in what you said, but the data that we collect is anonymous, right? There's no way for us to tell what any particular player did or who they are or anything like that.
It's by design. We don't want to be holding on to a bunch of customer data. I mean, there's legal reasons too, like in the EU or in California, there's all kinds of privacy regulations around like how you store that data and how you delete it. So it's much easier for us to just not have individually.
Oh, there's a jug too.
So,
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately,
this was not the plan, Henry. I'm sorry.
When you have a problem, like your car just exploded for no reason and you want to know why, and you write into customer support, we don't have access to your save game by default. We can't see the details of your play stream. You got lost somewhere in the aggregate data. So you have to go through a bunch of hoops in order to get individualized support.
Yeah, and actually, if you need individualized support, by the way, we should mention that support.stateofdecay.com is still up and running. That is Joe's area when he runs that site. And if you are having some kind of problem with the game and you need a bunch of help, definitely go and hit Joe up over there. Guys, I'm coming in with the car to try to give us a place that we can escape to if we need it. How about I don't run into the bloater cloud? Does that sound pretty good?
That's a good plan. That's a good plan.
I'm just going to leave this car right here. We can escape to it if we need to. Okay, so...
Oh, I'm escaping too.
Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you like dying.
Oh, no, I'm not a fan of dying.
Oh, no.
Just leave Brant. Leave Brant. We don't need Brant.
I'll meet you down the street if I survive.
You'll survive. If I have to run you over, you'll survive.
Okay, so, Henry, I think that I've got the support link up on the screen still, too, because apparently we need a lot of help. So, Henry, I think the last...
need some support, that's clear.
So the last question that I wanted to ask you before I know you're a really busy guy. We should let you go. Is so what is the big plan for this year? I mean, obviously there's a lot of details you probably can't share, but what do people have to look forward to? Are we just done? Every time we release an update, somebody feels clever and they go on Reddit and say, "Oh, this is the last update to State of Decay 2. They're done now." Like, what should people like that actually believe about our plans?
Well, first of all, I'm the product director of State of Decay 2, and I'm not about to fire myself. So there's still going to be State of Decay 2 coming down the road. That said, we are... It's hard to express because I've never been in this position. We're a game that's growing, right? We're frequently a top-played game on Xbox Game Pass. We're recently a top-selling, top-5 title on Steam again over the past week. We've got more active players and a bigger, more involved player community than we've had before. And so I want to make sure that we're supporting that growth. We've got multiple teams of developers split up and working on State of Decay 2 to make sure that we can support that growth. We have a vision of where we think the game could be. If we fixed all the things and we added all the ideas, like what would this game be? And we want to get there. We see the potential in State of Decay 2. And as fans and watchers of the stream, you guys know about all the potential we have. And we want to realize it. We want to see it happen. I'm not going to talk about exactly how we're going to get there over the next year and what the release schedule is. That's not just because I like keeping cagey secrets, but because it's my full-time job to figure out, how do we balance cost of development, the potential for future revenue, growth of the franchise audience, exposure to new players, marketing beats to bring back old players. How do you take all these different things we could do and fit them into the puzzle so that we do, get the maximum benefit out of everything we do? And I haven't solved the puzzle for 2021. We're not ready to lock down the exact details, but I will tell you that every single piece of the puzzle that we could put in there is amazing. Like there are 5 or 6 things that are going to happen this year that are going to blow your mind as players, and that makes me very happy. But I can't tell you what they are because we haven't picked which 5 or 6 yet.
All right, so thank you so much, Henry. Guys, we need to head back home to the base so that I can be kept safe while I do the next phase of this stream. But first off, I really want to say a huge thank you to Henry for coming in here, he's one of the busiest people at the company every single day. And so thank you for coming here and being on the stream and giving us all this info, and especially for the fact that we get to keep doing this job for so far into the future, working on a game that came out over 2 years ago. That feels it's unheard of in most of our careers. And so thank you for making a lot of this stuff possible.
Well, thank you all for continuing your excellent streaming to build our community. Does as much for the game as all the development I'm in charge of. So, cheers.
All right. Well, with that,
Thanks,
we're
Henry.
gonna have Henry bamf out of here, and the rest of us. Well, these guys are going to try to get me safely back home. I'm going to switch focus because we want to talk about some of the data that we have actually collected about what people accomplished in the year 2020. So let me get to the right spot in my notes here. All right, so let's start with some big high-level numbers. First off, 31 million days survived. So all of you out there collectively have managed to survive 31 million days with your communities in the year 2020. 7
Geoffrey,
million.
will you move your character inside?
Oh
so
yeah,
that
I should.
we're not-
I should. Oh well, I'm
'Cause you're
surrounded by
being-
ferals in the. Hold on,
yeah,
guys.
You're being actively attacked by ferals.
Yeah. Holy crap. Okay. Let me just show you all what's going on the screen right now, so that you can tell. It's me just desperately trying to get inside without being able to figure out how to control my character. Oh my gosh!
Are you plagued, injured, or tired?
I am
Geoffrey?
extremely injured and tired. I need to just get myself
Okay.
up onto a rooftop.
And maybe to an infirmary with a different character.
No, I don't have blood plague. I'm cool. I'm fine. I'll switch later on after we're done sharing all this lovely, delicious data. So 7 million bounties completed. And so, completing a bounty is a big deal. It often takes a pretty long time. And you guys have managed to complete 7 million of them, which is really, really cool. Over 61 million outfits looted. You guys have found so many pants and shirts and hats over the past year. The outfits feature was added late in 2019. So 2020 is the first full year we've had with outfits, and you folks have collected 61 million of them. 2 billion items looted. So these are just anything you could find in a container. You folks have found over 2 billion of them, which is, go look up some YouTube videos that compare billions to millions to thousands. The scale there is just absolutely incredible. And then over 2.5 million deaths. So 31 million days survived, but along the way, we lost 2.5 million characters, which is actually, given the scale of everything else, kind of remarkably low. Well done, everyone, keeping your people alive. So, but breaking that down a little further, difficulty. So one of the very last things we added in 2020 was a brand new difficulty level. And 13% of you actually braved the lethal zone in December, which is pretty amazing. Honestly, our numbers were not indicating that many players would be interested in playing the lethal zone, but some of you have been hungry for it for a long time. Others of you, I think, maybe just got your curiosity piqued. That certainly was me. On my personal stream, I tried the lethal zone, and I made it about 3 episodes before my entire team was dead. But you wanted to try it, right? It's just who doesn't want to try just an absolutely soul-crushing zombie apocalypse? But let's look at actually which difficulty levels people played in December by playtime. So number 1 was the standard zone, the one that you're kind of presented by default. That makes sense. That's almost always, in general with data, the thing that people are assigned by default tends to be the top of the list for some reason. Then the green zone. And this is actually really vindicating, I think, for the green zone team because, when they first put the green zone together, there were a fair number of folks who said, we don't need a green zone. What we need is a harder zone. And for those players, that was true. Those players did need a harder zone. But there were a lot of players who wanted an easier level to just be able to chill in and, play the zombie apocalypse their way and not worry about, having their face ground down into the dirt by the zombies. That's...
And Geoffrey, if I can interrupt for just a second.
Go for it.
It was actually the work of bringing in the green zone that made lethal zone so much easier to implement.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. And it also gave people who there are some people who want to play lethal zone action, but who actually don't want to have everything in the game cranked up to lethal zone. And green zone has actually been really helpful even for those players. There's a lot of people out there who like to play, like we're playing in the game right now, action at lethal and community at green. This, by the way, these numbers are only for people who have just used the basic choices. 15% of players actually have interesting mismatches of difficulty levels that they've created themselves, and those people are not included on this list because that would have just made it way too complicated. So the Dread Zone is number 3, and then 4 and 5, you gotta wonder, is it just going to keep going in order of difficulty? Nope, the Lethal Zone beats out the Nightmare Zone. So I think that's probably just because it's new, and so a lot of Nightmare players have like jumped up to the Lethal Zone just in December. We'll have to see if the Lethal Zone stays at the top, or if people start filtering back to Nightmare after they've had that experience. Well, I'm really not sure what to predict.
I know I'm going back to green after I grind out my 100 Days of Nightmare.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I'm having the exact same experience. I flunked out of Lethal. I'm in the process of kind of flunking out of Nightmare right now on my personal game. And so I might have to just go back and just realize, you know what? I'm a Dread player. I'm in that middle of the road pack right there. So, guns. The most popular guns in the game. I think it's really interesting. These sort of run the gamut a little bit. They cover a lot of different types and specialties. So first, let's just remember, you guys scavenged 2 billion items, and a fair percentage of those items were guns. So the top 5 most equipped firearms in the game. So this is the firearms that are actually put from your inventory into your equip slot the most often, because that whenever you do that, there's a little event that fires and sends us a little piece of data. So first off, the Civilian Vector Ultra Compact. So my theory about this, and Joe and Brant, let me know if you got any other thoughts about this stuff. It's a 45, and so it's a really common ammo type. It's got a huge magazine. I think it packs like 30 bullets in there. And it's light and easy to carry, and doesn't really compete with other stuff to sort of weigh you down. So it's kind of like the best of all possible worlds for just a nice, simple, light pistol. And it also looks like a sci-fi blaster. So I think all of those together kind of give it the edge.
And I think it also drops out of Plague Hearts.
Oh, that's probably another factor. That's true. Yeah, people who are going around running Plague Hearts. That's another way that they can get this one, and so that probably makes it a little bit more common maybe than other guns as far as drops go. The M1917 revolver is number 2, and I can see this one being popular just because I think it wasn't it originally part of the World War II pack, but now it drops in loot because we revised the World War II pack. Brand, am I right about that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so
you are correct.
So it does drop in loot. It's much easier to get than it was last year, and it's a revolver, which means that it never breaks or whatever, it goes bad. And again, I'm pretty sure it's a 45, and so again, it's pretty common ammo, easy stuff to get. This next one I find hilarious. The MGLN Firewhirl is the 3rd most equipped item in the game, which is a testament to our mod community, because the Firewhirl should not be dropping from any mission, from any container. There's nothing in the game. We made this as an experiment. It was going to be like maybe a weird reward. Maybe if we had ended up supporting Xbox Live challenges, this was going to be associated with that. And we cut it from the game because we didn't find the right way to introduce it. But intrepid modders have gone and they've found a way to unlock it for themselves, and it's the 3rd most equipped item in the game. That's just freaking mind-blowing to me. So well done, mod community. You deserve to feel proud of yourselves.
Well, and not to mention, Geoffrey, I think it was, I forget how many months back, but they figured out how to crack the cheat code, or the cheat menu. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that might be one of the ways, that people get access to it. That makes a lot of sense. Number 4.
If you're playing a regular game and somebody drops a firewall and you don't want to play with mods, don't pick it up.
That is a modded weapon. I mean, the weapon itself is real. The ability to get it is modded. Because it doesn't make any sense. You load a normal grenade cartridge into it and it makes fire. It's like this magical unicorn gun. It doesn't really fit thematically that well.
It's also a performance hit, big time. Like fire
makes a
is
lot
our
of
most
fire.
Expensive. Yeah, our fire is our most expensive particle to fire off, and you get too many people shooting those off, and you can bring the Xbox to its knees.
So the 4th gun you guys already saw is the Model 92 rifle. So that I was mentioning earlier that our lever action rifles have become very popular because they fire much faster than bolt action, but they've got all the advantages of the bolt action in that they never you never have to repair them. And so I imagine that in a Model 92, which is I think one of the more easier lever action rifles to get, sort of jumped up the scale real quick. And then finally, this is the one that's a little bit more questionable, just because I don't know quite as much about this gun. The HB PDW. Brant, you might need to tell me a little bit about this one. As far as I can tell, just looking at the data inside the game, it's a light gun that fires 7.62 rounds. Is it just a really convenient package for carrying some high caliber ordnance?
Yeah, and it's also suppressed.
Oh,
and
natively suppressed.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the range of your standard 7.62 because of the suppression. But it's very light, and people who want to pack around the heavy-hitting 7.62 caliber round, that's a go-to, right? Because it's easy to take care of, and you don't have to worry about making sure you have a suppressor with you because it's already on it, stuff like that. So
that makes a lot of sense. All right,
and it's from the Stay Frosty pack, so I think it kind of shows up. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but it shows up a little bit more than older guns.
Oh, no, that does make a lot of sense, actually.
I'm going to have to switch off my headset here. Hold on.
Okay. Well, while Brent's doing that, we will look at bounties. So these are the top 5 bounties that were completed. Like, the most people completed these bounties. And I think we'll be able to, as we talk through what they are, we'll be able to see why. So first off, we should say, people did this 7 million times, which is pretty impressive. And so the top 5 most earned bounties are, number 1, the restored Echo S4 SMG. So this is a suppressed SMG. It's an Echo weapon. It's really powerful. It's really desirable. And also, the bounty for it is just to collect 4 materials, 1 rucksack of materials. So I'm pretty sure it's a combination of the fact that this is such a desirable gun and the fact that collecting 4 materials is a thing you do constantly in the game, whether you intend to or not, or whether you've got a bounty for it or not. Probably had something to do with it.
And the fact that it's 9mm, which is one of the more common types of ammo that drop,
makes it a very useful and versatile gun.
Yeah, I think it's got both. I think it's got single shot burst and auto fire. I think it's been a while since I played with it, but
yeah,
I seem to remember that.
So it's a highly desirable gun. There's probably a lot of people telling their friends, "This is a highly desirable gun. Go and get it. It's only 4 materials." Then we got the Ice Axe from the Bundle Up pack. So this one, to get it, you just have to dismember 35 zombie arms. And there's actually kind of a theme here because I believe, that the next one, the Ancestral Talwar from the Anniversary Pack, is just killing 20 zombies with bladed weapons. So I don't remember if these two were actually up at the same time, but you could basically ready up these 2 bounties, get a blade in your hand, and just go out and just start hacking at zombies. And eventually you're going to pop both of these bounties.
I think the Anniversary Pack it came out in the middle of last summer in 2020.
So it probably wasn't out at the same time?
And then the Ice Axe, as part of the Bundle Up pack, is just back into circulation, I think, as a result recently, of December.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
they wouldn't be at the same time, and they are kind of very similar in how they're completed.
And they're also both just really cool looking weapons. I mean, fighting with an ice axe. I mean, the first time I saw, what was that movie with I don't know, Chris O'Donnell climbing some horrible mountain or something like that. Ever since I saw those guys using those ice axes, I was like, I want those to fight zombies with. And so it's a pretty desirable couple of weapons. The Ancestral Talwar, of course, was one of Gurubani Kar's weapons from the Year 1 Survival Edition. It's for long-term fans of State of Decay would definitely have been into that weapon too. And then, so the next one is from the Go Bag. It's the Mad Norma. It's one of our craziest looking vehicles. And the bounty to get it is just to use 8 gas cans. And who doesn't use 8 gas cans over the course of a typical session? And so it's not that hard to get and is a funky, crazy vehicle. And then finally, the last one is the Improvised Weapon Station from the Trumbull Valley pack. So the Improvised Weapon Station is interesting because its requirement is to kill 15 hordes, and that's a fair number of zombies to have to kill. But hordes aren't particularly hard to find, and you know how to kill them. You just run them over with the Mad Norma, provided that you're on a lower difficulty level and you're not just blowing up cars every time you tap them slightly. But I think the thing that might have made this particularly attractive is that it's not just a single weapon, it's the ability to craft some of the better weapons in the game at will as long as you have the resources. So it's kind of a it's more powerful than your typical bounty, which I think might have been what edged it up the list.
Well, and before we had the lethal zone, when you were killing plague hearts and nightmare, you can make the masterwork assault rifle off of there. That has like a 100 round magazine, and then you can also chamber one, and so you can run around with 101 5.56 ammo.
When you've got a magazine with 100 bullets in it, that one bullet that you can also chamber is really, really critical to your success.
Yeah, I know. Detail.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yada.
Sorry.
However, what people would do is they would just grab that gun, they would run up to the plague heart, and they would kill it in about 50 rounds, and then they would move on to the next plague heart.
So that gun is extremely useful, and so the ability to craft that gun at will, get one for every single one of your characters, it seems pretty valuable. So now let's look at the top abandoned bounties. So not every bounty was everybody's favorite. And so the top 3 most abandoned bounties were, number 1, 1911, the producer. This is Erin Anderson's gun, her actual gun modeled in the game. Erin Anderson has moved on to a different team within the studio, and so we haven't seen her as often lately, but I know that she was a fan favorite coming here on the stream. And this was her actual gun, but for some reason people abandoned this bounty a lot. It might be because it's about killing 5 armored zombies in close combat. And I suspect, so when I look at that, I'm like, that doesn't sound that hard to me. But people might not be aware of the fact that you get counted for close combat kills if you do a stealth kill, no matter what weapon you've got. Like, even if you're carrying like a huge, like beetle mallet or something like that, if you sneak up behind a zombie and you kill them, you use your close combat weapon, and that counts as a close combat kill. And so first off, if you didn't know that you don't actually have to abandon your weapons to get this, that might be one reason why people abandon this bounty. Another reason might be armored zombies aren't everywhere. They're not the most common enemies in the game. I think you see them more often if you're playing the higher difficulty levels, but they're not always that easy to find. But this is actually one of the areas where we do sort of vary things over the geography of a map. If you actually go to a place that's like a military site, or a police owned site, you are actually more likely to run into armored zombies. And so I'd say if you want to get this bounty, if you want to get the 1911 producer, go to a place that carry any weapon you want. It doesn't matter. Go to a place that is a military site, then sneak around and try to find as many armored zombies to kill from behind as you can. So number 2, the restored Echo S7 assault rifle. This one, it's an echo weapon, right? You'd think that people would really be interested in grabbing this one. But the way that you get it is to have a teammate kill 8 Zeds that were grappled by you. And this is another one that might not communicate very well how easy it is to get. Because when it says teammate, we were trying to find the right word that would make this really clear. Because what it means is, if you have a follower, an AI follower, and you grab a zombie and they kill the zombie, that counts. And if you have a multiplayer friend in the game and you grab the zombie and they kill the zombie, both of those count. And so it could be that people are reading that and they're thinking, oh, well, I have to play multiplayer for this and I have to coordinate with my friend. That's a little bit tough. But if you just bring an AI follower with you, when you are fighting next to each other and you hold a zombie, if you grab a zombie, then they can come over and they can they often will just very quickly come over and kill that zombie that you've grabbed. Another concern people might have is, now that we've changed the control scheme so that you no longer have to first grab a zombie with the trigger before killing it with I think it was X originally. Now you can just hit the Y button to execute a zombie. A lot of new players might not actually realize that the right trigger is a grapple button. And so it could easily be that there's a lot of players out there who aren't realizing that you can just grab zombies as long as you come up from behind, or if you've got the powerhouse skill and you can do it from anywhere. You can just you hit that trigger, you hold that trigger, and you'll grab the zombie, and then somebody else can kill that zombie. So next year when we do this tabulation, I want to see more people have gotten this bounty because it's not that hard to get, and that gun is actually really, really nice. Finally, we've got the bomber hat with the State of Decay logo on it. This one is for killing 2 ferals with explosives, which, you might think is pretty hard because most of your explosives are things with timers on them or that are very sensitive to where an enemy walks. And ferals are dashy, dodgy little guys, and they move really, really fast at all times. It's really hard to hit a feral with an explosive. And Joe, you were actually telling me a little bit earlier today that it's even harder than than I might let on.
Yes. So just because you hit a feral with an explosive doesn't mean it's going to die from it. And so sometimes you have to hit it with 2 explosions back to back. The first one to stun it, and then the second one to kill it. And so when I looked at this one, I was like, well, that actually makes sense to me why it would be abandoned, because who wants to waste their grenades? Like if you're making grenade launcher rounds, like I've equipped a grenade launcher so that maybe I can show folks out there just the difficulty here. But if unless you're, those are very expensive, and depending on your difficulty level, it can be even more expensive to craft. I play in lethal zones, so in order to make like 4 grenade rounds, I have to spend 8 ammo. It's easier if you've got like green, obviously, but.
Yeah, I think when that bounty was up, like I happened to have a community that had a grenade launcher, and so I just I blew all of my ammo on a bunch of grenades, a bunch of grenade launcher grenades, and I just went out hunting for ferals. That's all I did, and I only used that ammo to kill the ferals. And it wasn't that hard because once you've got the ammo for that gun, and once you're ready to go with it, hitting a feral twice with a grenade launcher isn't that bad, especially if you snuck up on it and you've seen it before it's seen you. But trying to make that happen in the moment with the normal loadout that you typically would bring out there, it is pretty hard. So I could see why people might not succeed at getting that bounty very often, or try it and be like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm quitting this nonsense. So, outfits. So again, as we noted before, you guys have looted over 61 million outfits over the course of 2020, which is crazy. And there actually was a really strong theme in the top most worn outfits. First off, we got the black leather jacket. Second, we've got the black ninja hoodie. Fourth, we've got the black tactical uniform. And then third, we've got the Skull Eagle combat tee, the one that's got the State of Decay symbol on the character's chest. And so it seems like you folks have a little bit of a taste. You guys have got a theme that you tend to go for. You like dressing your characters all in black, and that's pretty cool. I like wearing black too. In fact, when we were running around, when I was sort of setting up my community, I actually had to, I decided to dress all my characters in these exact 4 outfits. So we've got, Dale here, who's wearing the black tactical uniform. We've got Vicky, who's wearing the Skull Eagle combat tee. We got Kalina wearing the hoodie, and she's exhausted because I've had her sitting there hanging out on the roof this entire stream. And then Pollard here, who's wearing the black leather jacket. But in order to change them into this outfit, I just had to change them from other black outfits that I had dressed them in, at least some of them. Kalina actually was wearing a white leather jacket, which I thought was pretty cool, but Dale and Pollard were pretty much wearing black, and so I'm right along with you folks. But that's the data that we've got. That's a lot of the stuff that we've collected. And big thanks, by the way, to Sarah, our top data analyst, took time out of her day to sort of corral all this data and get it to me. At some point in the future, we'd love to have her on the stream to talk even more about sort of the way that data collection works and the way that data analysis works and what we can, how we think about data and what we can learn from it. But in the meantime, just thanks to her for collecting all this information. And thanks to all of you for generating this data. Because what this data means is so many people have been playing our game in 2020. More people than played it during previous years and months. Like, it's amazing. Like Henry said, that our game is growing. Our audience is growing. And that's why we're continuing to support it. Like, we always have to make a case. Like, I think somebody asked, Console Freak asked, I think while Henry was here, and we didn't get to the question, does Microsoft help you guys financially? Of course, they own our company now. They are us financially. It's not a question of helping or not helping. It's just we're part of the same company. But Microsoft is very careful with their money. They don't want to just throw money down a bottomless pit. They carefully spend their money where it's going to be, valuable, where it's going to, have some kind of return. And what we've been doing here with the State of Decay 2 project, is building an audience, growing an audience over time. And they've been able to see, because you all have been supporting us, you all have been playing our game and helping us, sort of keep this thing alive. It's been amazing because Microsoft sees that. They see, our parent company sees how successful our game is. It sees how our audience is growing, and they want to devote more resources to it. And so we get to keep supporting this game. We get to keep, we've got plans, potential plans. Like Henry said, we haven't nailed them all down yet. We got potential plans going out throughout the rest of this year, and who knows into the future, because this audience is growing. So thank you so much for always being here, always supporting us, and continuously coming back to this game. And speaking of coming back to this game, I should probably grab one of these characters, and we should probably do some playing. We do, by the way. So Brant had to take his headphones off, and his face disappeared. Is he still in the game? Is he still?
I am still here.
Okay, cool. I don't know why your face disappeared, Brant.
Because
You're Henry now. What? No, that's wrong. What am I doing?
My camera's not working. So
no, it could. Well, it could be your camera, or it could be the fact that I was breaking stuff trying to get Henry on the screen, and I think I've just screwed everything up. So sorry about that. Brant is not going to be joining us visibly on the screen, and that is because of a technical mistake. I know what I did. That's a technical mistake that I made in OBS. So
that's better for everybody if they can't see my face.
Yeah. So Brant has improved the stream by disappearing from it, but he is going to be here to help us. But so we've got an issue in my game here, which is I've got way too many infestations. During my personal stream this morning,
I'm gonna change your plan, Geoffrey.
What? My plan was gonna go after the infestations. What do you want to do?
We're gonna go kill the plague heart, try to find some pharaohs, and we're gonna go find this police cruiser.
Okay, whatever. If that's what we want to do, that's what we want to do. I'm not in charge. So let me go grab. At least I need to grab some other
it was about the police cruiser question from pre-stream. So.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go find a police cruiser because that particular person wanted one. That works for me. So let me grab a different weapon. Let's see here. Splitting maul. I love the splitting maul. One of the reasons we have the splitting maul is because I love splitting mauls so much. If you've never had the experience of swinging a splitting maul down on a stump and having it just break cleanly in two, you have not lived yet. So, it doesn't split the stump usually. It splits the piece of wood. Anyway, what am I talking about? Let's get in this car. Okay, so Jawa has got the wheel. He's sending us over here to find a police cruiser that is in terrible shape. I hope we have some gear to repair it and to fill it with fuel. By the way, so now that we're kind of into the freeform part of the stream, if anybody's got any questions for us or stuff that you'd like to chat about, feel free to write your questions into the chat, and we will do our best to pay attention to that and respond to you. Though my browser has just stopped responding to me, and so I can't look at your chat myself. I'm just going to have to rely on our moderators to feed me stuff. For some reason, I'm having just all the technical problems today. It's because it's the first stream of the year, and I've forgotten how to anticipate problems. Nice dodge on that zombie, by the way.
Well, I play a lot of lethal, and I don't like losing vehicles.
To a single zombie collision? Yeah, exactly. That was one of the few things in Lethal where I tuned it one way, and then actually, due to feedback, I tuned it back and made it easier. I actually made the cars more fragile originally when we first started working on Lethal Zone. And Joe was like, no, this is not fun. All right, looks like we've got some zombies that have been following us.
All right, so here's the police cruiser. We don't necessarily have to take it, but
Yeah, do any of it? I just realized I didn't bring any gas or repair kits or anything like that.
I got gas.
Oh well, that sounds like a personal problem, Joe.
Not that kind.
Sorry, I'm in the 4th grade.
Well, you have small children, so we're all good.
All right, I'm just gonna ride along in the police cruiser. Looks like Brant's got the other car. So Owen 1999 has a question. He says, "Can we expect new bounties?" So I think it's so. Initially, what you're going to see early on in the year is bounty packs that you've seen before coming back. Bounties that have not been here for a while. Things that people have been asking. People ask us all the time, "Hey, this bounty, it just went off the end of the list, but I didn't get everything I wanted. Is it coming back?" And the answer to that question is pretty much always yes. Yes, the bounties are coming back. In fact, we're pretty close to the point where we can say, where we'll have basically an entire year of bounties to cycle through. But let's just murder these zombies real quick. And so, yeah, so you should definitely, early in the year, you should expect to see a lot of, old bounties returning. And then the problem is,
All right, I
right
hear
now...
Feral. Be careful.
Oh, Feral? Okay, I'm going to reload here.
Come on out of there.
Take that, Feral.
Where is he? Where is
He's
he?
he's in the hallway, basically. Oh, no, I got grabbed. I was hitting him, and I got grabbed. Okay, good, we got
All
him.
right.
Nice.
But you shot him and got rid of all of his other stuff.
Yeah, I got rid of his head armor, which was nice. But yeah, but right now I think we have so far. Another Feral. Gosh. Okay. So we have. Nice. I need to take some drugs. Okay. Are you trying to explode that Feral?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm just getting destroyed.
It took four.
I'm coming out here to reload my gun. But yeah, so we have got right now, I think we have 11 bounty packs. Which means we're missing one if we want to have an entire year's worth. And that is a goal of ours. We do want to have an entire year's worth of bounties in the game. So I would not be surprised if at some point we add some additional bounties to the game. Not telling you when or what, but that I would be really, really surprised if we didn't have them. And yeah, and so we'll be able to tell you guys more about returning bounty packs, maybe even augmentations to long-standing bounty packs, and maybe even further down the line, new bounty packs. But no specifics to share. But that is something that would be reasonable to expect for 2021.
Action Gameplays asks, when will we know more about Cleo one day?
I hope so. Because it'd be really so we kind of added that mystery box to the game in the Year One Survival Edition, and it would be really kind of weird if we never gave any more information about Cleo. So nothing specific to announce, but yeah, I think we are very concerned about Cleo and and the potential to we set up a bunch of big questions around her, and I really would like to be able to answer those at some point. So yeah, let's. Hold that one
Plague
up.
Heart needs to be opened by you, Geoffrey.
Oh, right. I forgot that we were looting this thing. Okay, well, I'll get in there. That's cool.
Well, we don't have to loot it. It's just,
I mean, we took the time to kill it. Might as well loot it.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
We're here.
We got some food. We got a fake AK-47, my favorite gun. Nice. I'm just going to take everything. You guys didn't need any stuff, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, there we
At
go.
least none of that stuff.
All right.
I like money and guns. That's about it.
There are a lot of people who feel the same way. So,
All right.
San Diego Sun asks, why don't Enclaves use the weapons that I sell them to fight zombies? Because an Enclave's inventory is pretty much exactly like your supply locker. The inventory that they sell from is completely different from the inventory that they actually have equipped on them at any given time. You'll notice that the stuff that they have equipped on their bodies, that stuff is not in their store either. They don't. Did both of us get hung up? Wow, Brant. Okay, there we go. We're good. I'm going to say Brant should collide with us to get us out there. So anyway, yeah. So the stuff that they offer to trade is basically the stuff in their supply locker, and so they've got their own favorite guns and their own favorite stuff that they carry around. And basically, we just never decided to make it so that they could equip things from their inventory. Partly just because sometimes we manufactured those trade inventories specifically to offer you fun things to trade for. And so if the Enclaves could take from their trade inventory and just grab the best guns, they would never sell you the best guns. They would always be grabbing the best stuff out of their own inventory, and that would cause a lot of problems. So we decided not to give them that freedom, and instead we decide what kinds of things can appear in their basically in their supply lockers, and then they use that as a trade inventory, and they've got their own stuff in their own pockets that they use in actual combat. Adam Survives had a question about another question about bounties. Yes, will the bounty actions change or stay the same? So in general, I mean, we don't just change them for no reason. Sometimes we do make updates to. Oh, my controller batteries are low. Sometimes we do make updates to particular bounties. Are you sick, Jawa?
No.
Okay, yeah, you're just trailing a trail of blood plaguey looking stuff, and it was freaking me out.
No, he's using
It's scent block.
Oh, that's scent block. Okay, sorry, I don't use scent block in my game at home, so I forgot what it looked like. It's like, what's going on? Anyway, so scent block is probably helping you not get murdered. Oh crap! I just got hit by a bloater.
They don't even know I'm here.
I'm in big trouble. One more pixel of blood plague.
Geoffrey, come here.
Oh, what have you got? What have you got?
Like, are you
Give it to me. Give it to me.
infected, or you had
Yes. Plague cure. Vials
Or-
of plague cure. Yes. No more plague. Anyway, so Adam, we don't change bounties just sort of randomly, but we do actually, this is really relevant to the data we were talking about. We collect a lot of data on which bounties get completed most often, which are not completed, how long it generally takes someone between the time that they accept a bounty and the time that they complete it. And we have guesses up front, like this is how long we want someone to spend on this bounty. This is how long. This is the kind of level of challenge we want this one to be. We want this one to be a rare and hard one. We want this one to be a common and easy one. We make those decisions up front, and then we compare our early assumptions against what we find in the data. And if something in the data is completely out of whack and surprises us, then I'm just gonna get in Brant's car because I don't know, I felt like it. If it completely surprises us, then we'll
Good
have to
choice.
assess it. Sometimes we'll look at it and be like, you know what? The way it turned out, that's fine. No big deal. We just sort of roll with whatever turns out to happen. But if there's one where we intended it to be easy and it was hard, or we intended it to be hard and it was easy, then we'll have another look at how that bounty works and we'll make changes to it. So yeah, I mean, as we're sort of reintroducing bounty packs into the wild, we will be sort of analyzing them and trying to figure out, was this bounty pack successful in doing all the things we wanted it to do originally? And if it's not, then we will try to make changes to it. But not just arbitrarily. There'll always be a good reason for it. Okay, these guys are like... Oh, that's right, because I'm out of stamina. That's why these zombies are all just getting in all their licks before I get to move. Okay, there is a zombie threat at home, but I think I might have just enough ammo that we don't need to worry about it. My character is not in the best shape, though. Nice stab, Brant.
Here, Jeff.
Oh, what is this? Some strong painkillers. I'm doing okay on the painkillers. It's the I don't know. I've got. Actually, wait. Oh, I've got a first aid kit. Yes, make the injuries go away. Nicely done. Oh, so Coventry City fan asks, how about some of the outfits? Will they be back? For example, the ones that you get for getting the game. So we've had a bunch of outfits that are specifically all about like playing the game at a certain time during a certain event, and most of those events are calendar driven and are repeatable. And so when you see an outfit like that you get for participating in some event, our goal is usually to have that event come back in the future. We don't want that that thing to be gone forever. We want this game to keep growing, right? We want to keep expanding the audience, and that means that we want new players to feel just as well supported as old players. And so that means that if we make some crazy event and it's got some rewards to it, we don't want that reward to only be for the people who are around just during that particular year. We'd like it for it to come back. And so that's likely to remain the case. Where is this last zombie?
I don't even hear it.
Huh.
I
Weird.
don't have my sound up, so I don't.
Usually you can hear it.
Oh, wait, okay, somebody just threw some...
I'm trying to find it with fire.
So there's no... I'm up on the ceiling. Up on the... not the ceiling. I'm up on the roof. There's nothing up here, so it might be one of those bugs where the zombie's like underground or something.
Do you have scouting?
Does this character have scouting? Let me see. Oh yeah, this character actually has tactics.
So you should be able to, like, if it's actually in the world.
Yeah, it should show up on my minimap, shouldn't it? I don't see anything on my minimap, but then again, my minimap is kind of busy, so I don't know. Oh, we don't have to worry about this. Maybe we'll just come back to this one on the way.
Yeah, it'll probably respawn when we come back.
Shall we go save your community?
If you guys want to do a siege, that might be a pretty smart move. We are getting towards the end of the stream, so doing a siege right now might actually be a nice finale. Maybe we'll get one of my characters killed. That's usually the tradition. So, So Steph Q asks, are we bringing back the zombie clown hordes? I don't think we... Did we ever have clown hordes? I don't think we had
Not
clown
hordes.
hordes. We did have clowns. And actually, I'm pretty sure the clowns are still in the game. I think they're just very, very rare.
Yeah, it's like 1 in 6,000.
So that is a good question, though, because I don't feel like I've seen a clown anytime recently. And so it's entirely... Like, if the clown spawning broke, I don't think anyone would notice very quickly because they're supposed to be rare. That's actually one of the problems with a game that is so heavily, randomly driven, procedurally generated, is the fact that when something doesn't happen, you can never really be sure if it didn't happen because there was a problem, or if it didn't happen just because, you just rolled that way. So, if we are going to head back home, we should probably do it soon.
That's why I'm in the car.
Okay. I'm getting in the car too. We're all in. Just trying to see if I missed any questions.
And a working siren, by the way.
So Lord of Wiggle suggests that we should have firefighter hordes that resist fire. So, do we have armored hordes? Because armored does resist fire already.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So if you're looking for a horde that resists fire, that already is a thing.
They're generally in like army and what's the other one? Police armor.
Police type places, yeah. So
the armor that they're wearing is what I'm talking about.
Oh, gotcha, yeah. So I should grab myself... Actually, maybe what I should do is, instead of carrying the shotgun around, maybe I should use my fake A47, which is the best gun. I love this gun.
Get ready, everyone. Zombies are here.
And let's put an advanced brake on it, because it's firing 22s. I'd like it to hit a little bit harder than that, so brake will help. Okay, random number generator. Give us a good siege. It's the end of the stream. It looks like there's a screamer out there.
This one's not as random. Depends on the level of threat that you've generated. In your community.
Yeah, that's true. So I ran out to deal with that screamer because I didn't want him summoning a bunch of extra, plague bloaters to us.
Oh, but that could be fun.
For you, maybe. I want to keep using the same community in future streams. Making a new one would be a hassle.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure we can hold on here. You just gotta keep this up a little longer.
Okay, looks like this one's not too bad. Famous last words, but whatever. Because we had that, at the very beginning of this, we had that horde that was passing by that had, okay, there's a couple of screamers that are down the hill from us. There they are.
Did I hear a feral?
Oh, I hope so. It's weird, I'm simultaneously preemptively trying to kill the zombies that are the most dangerous, and also acting like I want to have really scary zombies show up. I'm not really sure where I'm standing on this issue. Oh, didn't need to shoot that guy. Anybody else? Anybody else coming out of the darkness?
Yeah, we had some stuff. They're big and they put down clouds of gas.
You got a couple of bloaters. Oh, did I miss out on some bloaters?
Yeah, there was a pod coming toward your back door.
Oops. I forgot that this character does not really count as having powerhouse.
Oh, I think I found a feral.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And another bloater.
Sweet.
Oh, and another feral.
What is going on? I can't see any of these things you're seeing.
It's because you're on the wrong side of the fence.
Oh, I missed
there you
all the
go.
good stuff. Ah, oh, yikes. Yes. That's the nice thing about the AK-47. You can just keep shooting it. It's got a nice big magazine. All right, it is 4 o'clock, so I guess technically we should end this stream. Now, I know you got... Oh, there's a Juggernaut outside.
Yes, we should end the stream. So
Yeah, let's just end the stream. You know what?
About the rest of her day.
I'm just going to kick you all out of the game. There we go.
Yay!
We're done. All
Booted.
right. So, let's switch over to having a look at Joe. So, Joe, thank you so much for making it possible for us to survive in the lethal zone for a little while, despite my, lack of skill. Thanks a lot.
Hey, no problem. Don't forget that Brant helped. Probably was more so than I did at that point.
Oh, but I can't see Brant, and I'm really just out of sight, out of mind. So.
Oh well, there you go. Sorry. I have a Brant extension.
So, Brant, also thank you for being here. Sorry that we can't see your face. It's my dumb mistake with OBS, but thank you for coming and helping us out.
It's okay. Thanks everybody for showing up. We appreciate, and it's great to see you all again. Thanks for playing our game.
And that's about it. So thank you all for making this such an amazing 2020 for us in a lot of ways. 2020 was bad in a bunch of other ways, but the development of State of Decay 2 was kind of one of the best parts for us. And so that's really down to you folks. So thank you so much. We're looking forward to a really great 2021. And keep coming back here. We're going to keep giving you updates. We're going to keep telling you what we're working on. And there's just a lot more coming. So we're looking forward to it. And you can subscribe to our channel. And you can click all of these videos. It's great.
Smash that like button.
Hit that bell. You know the bell? Hit the bell. Or something. I don't know what we're talking about.